throwing shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent. Niggas is broke.
So before we start off, I want to tell you guys that I actually upgraded my mic, so if it does sound bad or it sounds weird, let me know in the comment section down below and I will try to fix it for the next video. But with that being said, let's get right into this video. Oh my, I honestly did not see this trade coming. Well, I was too busy snoozing because of, a terrible all-star weekend. Momentum just started building up on my Twitter timeline. I got up to take a whiz, came back to my phone, and next thing you know, DeMarcus Cousins is a New Orleans Pelican. Now, first of all, I would like to commend the Pelicans for taking a big risk at DeMarcus Cousins. Yes, he's not the ideal piece to surround Davis with, but they had to keep a once-in-a-generation player like Davis happy, and waiting to draft uncertain talent with those picks was not going to keep him there. And same for the Kings. We've all been telling them for months, Boogie just ain't their guy. They don't know how to build around him. The culture in Sacramento is not built for Boogie, and I think it was a good move on their part to let go of Boogie. But now that that's done, it is time to talk about the real question. Are the Pelicans good enough to beat the Golden State Warriors? The quick answer is no. They are not good enough to beat the Warriors, but the combination of DeMarcus Cousins and Davis will give them the most problems in the league, at least compared to other teams. Essentially, they are Golden State's worst nightmare. To start off, let's look at Golden State's losses this year. Against Denver, Nikola Jokic went off for 17 points, 21 rebounds, and 12 assists. Ironically, against Sacramento, Boogie went off for 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. Against Memphis, Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol combined for 50 points. In their first meeting against Memphis, 4 big men combined to score 61 points. Against Houston, Ryan Anderson went off for 29 points. Against the Lakers, Julius Randle had 20 points and 14 rebounds. And lastly, against San Antonio on opening night, we all remember how LaMarcus Aldridge picked apart Golden State for 26 points and 14 rebounds. So out of their 9 losses in the first half of the season, Golden State has had problems with bigs 7 out of those 9 for one reason or another. And most of them are just teams with one good big. When you look at the only team that's beaten Golden State twice, the Grizzlies. Yes, they have Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph, but they aren't what they used to be 3 to 4 years ago. But that just adds to the fact that it really is a problem when you have those two going off on Golden State and they're not even in their prime anymore. This New Orleans front court is just a different animal. You got 2 bigs who can stretch the floor, dominate in the post, who have the body of a true old center but the mobility of a stretch big. 2 of the top 5 scorers in the league. I mean, it is scary to think that these 2 are on the same team. I can guarantee you, if Golden State meets this team, they will not have a good time, and I might even see the Pelicans stealing a game, maybe even 2 in that series, just from the production of these 2 beasts alone. But the reason I say that they definitely will not beat Golden State is because of 2 things: the bench and the chemistry. I believe that chemistry is a big part in the game of basketball, especially between stars. The 08 Celtics are the only star-studded team that I can think of that didn't have chemistry issues when they first assembled and were good enough to win it all the first year. That New Orleans duo, first of all, isn't as talented as the 08 Big Three, nonetheless the whole team, and they only have half a season to build that chemistry. Second is their bench. You know what? It's not just their bench, it's just the general supporting cast around Davis and Boogie. Outside of Drew Holiday, who does New Orleans have now? Donatas Montejunas, Omer Asik, Etuan Moore, Solomon Hill. Not only do they lack the talent, but their play styles just don't fit together. So no, they are not beating the Golden State Warriors this season. Keyword, this season. But I really do feel the Pelicans have the potential to become the biggest threat to Golden State next year or the year after, depending on free agency. Shout out to Agent Zero on Twitter for bringing this idea, but essentially what he said is, what about Chris Paul to New Orleans? If Chris Paul really wants to leave LA for a championship and San Antonio and Cleveland are not an option, New Orleans may be his best chance. Just think about what he's doing with the Clippers right now. Now replace DeAndre Jordan with a more complete player like Anthony Davis. Replace Blake Griffin with a more complete and reliable scorer like DeMarcus Cousins. And if New Orleans could just add a couple of shooters or trade Drew for a reliable wing player, then you got yourself a team with the star power and the personnel to give Golden State serious problems for the near future. Now the thing about this whole experiment is that it is definitely high risk, high reward. What's to say that AD and Boogie just don't work out as a duo? Especially in today's day and age with big men not being the focus, teams could simply just bring them out to the perimeter and attack inside or outside. We've seen duos in the past like Westbrook and Durant, Shaq and Kobe, Kobe and Dwight not work out even though they have all the talent in the world. Now that New Orleans basically has no first round draft picks, they have to re-sign Boogie, but there have been many rumors of Boogie saying that he will not resign to any team as long as it's not Sacramento, and Chris Paul to New Orleans is still unlikely. So worst case scenario, you lose Boogie, you lose your assets, you don't get the star free agent in Chris Paul, resulting in Anthony Davis wanting out as well. Or best case scenario, the duo works out, they become a problem to Golden State, they attract Chris Paul, and then sign and trade for solid role players and become contenders for years to come. This is a high risk, high reward trade if I ever saw one. But with that being said, man, I want to hear what y'all think about this new mic and, this whole trade scenario. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video and I am out. Peace.